Still working on little things here and there. Show you what I've been doing on the door. I've upgraded the motor. I had some extra parts around. The little drum in there for the winding the cable. And the cable itself is kind of messed up. So I had some spare parts and I ended up swapping out new motor, new drum. And so the motor goes up and makes the window go up and down a lot better. This is the piece that kept popping out down there. And instead of the little plastic pin that goes in there, I stuck a sheet metal screw in there. Got that thing stuck in there. Hopefully it stays put. And then up here I had a rubber seal coming around. I just stuck a piece of carpet underneath here, kind of fill that gap so wind doesn't blow through there. So that made that a whole bunch better. So much better. I ordered a motor for the other side. I'm gonna swap it out, make it new. Those were used, and the new one just runs cleaner and stronger. And the rest of the stuff is ready to put back together. I'll clean up a little bit of wiring up here, put that back together. Speedo's working, got the tablet working. And everything in there, the speedometer, wiring, that stuff's all tucked away, so put the carpeting back in. Water leaks fixed in there. Amps crossed over. Everything good to go. A couple days I'll have the motor for the window on the other side. I'm making pretty good progress. Got my door back together. Got the window working pretty good with that new motor in there. Let's see if we can get it to work. Rolls up pretty good. And down pretty good. So yeah, it works well. It kind of hangs up here and there, but whatever. It actually works a lot better than it did. And then I got my new motor for the other side. So I'm going to put that in. See if I can't get the other one to work a little bit newer. Got my amp back in here. I don't have the carpet nailed down yet. All this stuff is buttoned up. Made me a boot. Fill in the gap in here. So that looks better. And then you know, I kept getting more and more water out of this section down here where this heater valve is. And right down in there where that valve is, that's where the water's coming out. See if I can squeeze a hose maybe. I don't know, but right down in there. Move this. I'm looking through the camera while I'm doing this, so it's kind of weird. But I think you can see a wet spot. Yeah, right there. See that? Coming right out of there. big time. So I got a different one, a new one, which is right here. Just do a direct replacement. This is out of a Ford Explorer, I think. Like an '01 Explorer. Heater bypass valve. So that's what I'm going to do now. Try and not make a mess. Unhook 4 different hoses. All the water's draining in there. So, I don't know. Pinch it off the best I can. Put towels down there to soak it up the best I can. And get it done as fast as I can. And then clean it up the best I can. So, there you go. Transmission still at Mendiola. And anyway, still waiting for that. They're working on it. We'll get that back in there soon. Now I'm working on the passenger door side here. I've got this motor. And you gotta take the cable apart. I just pull it apart right down here. And once you get that apart, then I pull it loose right here, unbolt it. I can swing it around to get this plate off. And that's where I'll pull this drum off. You just got to pay attention which ends it comes out. How many winds you have for this cable, how many winds you have for the other. You know, and where it's keyed. So I'll take that new motor, replace it, put it back in the same spot, button it up, put it in there, and should be good. Now there's one cable down here. It was kind of rotten. See that right there? Weak, bent. So I'm going to replace that also at the same time. Use some of the new cable from that other part, which is right over here. New motor. I'll use a piece of this cable. Button it back up. We'll test her out. Alright. Getting some energy. Get back on this thing again. It's Christmas season, so I got my Transaxle back. Upgraded, so we'll see how that works. Should be good. Should be good. Took it apart, went through it. He said he found some things wrong with it, and everything's been upgraded. Upgraded and fixed. Right now what I'm doing is prepping out, getting ready to put that in there. Figure since it's gone, I'm putting these shims in that I got off a guy on the forum. It goes by Crash. He made these shims, which is pretty cool. It replaces the eccentrics, which tend to move and come out of adjustment on your alignment. So it's just a series of different holes which give you different positions on that control arm. Swap that out. It's a pretty good idea. Alright, I'm getting ready to guide this thing in here. I got the jack under it. It's pretty much the balancing point is way back here. Right in here somewhere is kind of the balance point on that thing. So with just a little bit of effort I can pick up the top of that. I'll jack it up and finagle that up in there. Then once I get it in so far, I'll go get my hoist, pick it up, get it the right angle, and mate it up with the motor. Put a piece of plastic ABS stuff, whatever is down there, and it'll skid across those cables and stuff. And I took out the driver's side axle. When my buddy helped me pull it out, it was kind of a bitch getting it beside both axles with the driver's side gone. Should go in there pretty easy. But everything else looked good. You can actually pop it into gear manually just by the linkage. I never could do that before, so already I can tell something's better. So I got it most of the way in there. It's pretty much home free. I just jacked up the back of it a little bit. I figured I'd just show, in case anybody is wondering how they'd ever get that out of there. So I started off a little bit sharper of an angle. Got it up over the humps of these mounts right here. And then once it's over the hump and you got that driver's side axle out of the way, you can slide in. So I'll jack up the back of it maybe just a little bit more. Slide it to where it's just almost all the way there. Get my strap around it with my hoist and pick it up. I decided not to get the engine hoist in here. Instead I just got another jack underneath here, and just got a post. Cut a post and put under here. And then little by little, balancing it, getting the right level, pushed right in. Ooh. Pushed right in, so that's where I got it sitting without any effort. Now I'm going to get some bolts in there and suck it up tight, get everything mounted up. Well, Christmas is over, New Year's is over. One step forward, two steps back. Got the transaxle in. That's pretty much all done, ready to go. And I got the shims in the control arms. What else have I been doing? Everything on the inside is pretty much done. Then in the middle of all that, my radiator decided to spring a leak. Just sitting here, not touching anything, just leaking. Why? I don't know. So, got a different radiator. I was grabbing a flashlight off my bench. Right over here. Misgrabbed it. As it was falling, I tried to catch it. I slung it across the hood of my car. I put like a pea-sized chip right here. So I've been doing a little body shop magic trying to fill that chip in, get it polished out. I don't know if you can see right there where it was, where it is. Anyway, kind of dumb. Yeah, that's my life. Anyways, we move on. So yeah, now that I got the radiator out, I might as well try and finish up this area here. Get this closeout panel that goes in here. Try and finish up this section. Get my radiator back in here. Get a cargo light up here, which I've never done yet. And other than that, that list I had of things to do is just about done. So hopefully this thing will leave me alone with all the problems and let me sit back and enjoy it a little bit. But whatever, it never was really done last summer, so hopefully this time I can call it done. Getting things narrowed down here. I fixed so many small things on this that have never been finished. I got my closeout panel done. Got that in there. And I made a port, charging port, which is right down in here. Plugs into a battery tender, and then when that's done, I got a clip right in here. Which holds that plug. Lots of little things. Here's my list that I've been doing. Charger port, little water leak I had, the closeout panel, bridge the amps over for the stereo, fix my window, fix the my tablet connection on the interior, which works good now. My speedometer, leak with the air conditioning. I put the shim kits in there for my suspension to keep it from moving, remove the eccentrics. Which is a nice little upgrade. I got my hood lamp installed, just a simple little LED. That's finally done. And I had a tire that I had to balance, the weights came off of it. Fixed the steering column cover, that little filler panel I put in there. Turned out pretty good. Looks good enough. Works. Changed the oil. Cleaned the air filters. I got some of that clear film. I still need to do the very front, but I put some here on this edge. Both sides, of course. And then some underneath the wheel. Down under here. And then some on this edge right here. And I'm going to add some more, mainly to the front, I believe. And then the next thing I'm going to do, the belt kind of jumps off of the tensioner. And I've been reading on the forum, the LS motors kind of do that. There's the pulley that I've been using. It's got no ridges to keep the belt on it. I got another one. Got a little more of a ridge to it. Same size pretty much. And then I got a smaller belt. This is a Gates belt. This one's a 30. The old one's a 35, so a little bit smaller belt, a little more tension on it, and then a little extra ridge on the edge. And I think that'll keep it from slipping off. Should be good to go. So I'll get that swapped over. And that's about it. I'm going to take it to the, get another dyno tune done on it. Doesn't seem to like the cold temperatures for some reason. Get the AC charged. And then it's time to run it. Start working with the traction control. Everything else is dialed in, little by little. I've been talking with the guy that tuned this motor, Tommy Wong, and he seemed kind of surprised that it wasn't running right. And he was talking about the O2 sensor and the mass flow sensor. So I got to thinking. I bought a $9 scan tool, an OBD2 plug-in tool, and underneath, where is it? Way under here. This little guy. That's an Elm. OBD2, and it's Bluetooth. So basically you download an app. I've got the torque. I paid the money for the Pro. It's pretty cool. And you got a map. Turn my ignition on here. And I ran some diagnostics with it. Fault codes. And it came up with a mass flow sensor error. Anyway, long story short, I went out there and looked, and one of the wires wasn't plugged in all the way on that connection. So, and I had a weird reading from the intake air temperature. Anyways, you can go in here and you can set up different graphs, different gauges. This is all customizable. I got the mass airflow, air fuel correction, intake temp, timing advance, and then this is just kind of a guesstimate it does for torque and horsepower. And this is all my fuel trims over here. Both sides. I got RPM, throttle position, and there's some different gauges here. Coolant temp, speed, and this speed all works off of GPS, so it's kind of half-assed as far as working good or not. And it ties in with the 0 to 100 and 0 to 60 times, quarter mile time, stuff like that. Anyways, through this thing I kind of figured out that I've got a problem, so I'm about ready to fire this thing up, and I have a feeling it's going to run right now. So I'm excited. Excited about that. So yeah, last time I took a buddy of mine for a ride. He got a ride with running on 7 cylinders and a fault code. You know, it kind of puts it in a safe mode when it does that, so it don't run right. Anyway, oh boy, here we go. See what she does. just fired it up, idling real well. I used to really hesitate, just, you know, even, you know, obviously when it's cold, but even when it's warm, now it's not doing it at all. So I'm super excited. I want to go take it for a ride now. Looking good. Good. Everything's going great. And my speedometer's working.